Simple and elegant, bold and beautiful, unconventional and eye-aching. Football kits are more than just a representation of a club or nation you play or identify with. In recent times, they've become fashion statements and calling cards of where your allegiances lie, and said allegiances don't get any more intense than on the national stage. And with the Women's Euros looming upon us, all 16 teams vying for the accolade of being Europe's best have been handed a fresh set of threads, for the most part, to look as good as they hope to perform. And in this video and the next, we're going to take a look at who is going to be slaying on the green runway and who will need to be incarcerated by the football fashion police. Welcome to Misba Passion. Now, full disclosure, any and all opinions of these videos are going to be purely from my own point of view and my own personal fashion tastes. I'll also be rating / ranking these kits based on a total out of 10, so it goes without saying that the higher, the better. So without any further waffling, let's get into it, starting with Group A. Puma kick us off with a stunning home jersey for the host Switzerland, arguably improving upon the just as marvelous home shirt the national team donned at the 23 World Cup. The kit is inspired by Swiss textile monograms, which is evident in the monochromatic design that runs across the entire front of the shirt that you can make out to be the Swiss flag, Swiss cross, and Swiss Football Federation logo. That's definitely a kit to be proud of if you're Swiss, and I'm sure it's going to be a massive hit with fans and players alike, but something that will be a regular theme throughout the video, at least when it comes to Puma kits for the most part. The back is bare, and that is something that honestly just takes away from the kit's all-around beauty, which is a shame, as I think it's just good to have kit designs run all the way throughout the jersey. And I doubt kit regulations from UEFA would even get in the way of things, but it is what it is, and this kit gets a certified 8 out of 10 from me. Nike make their bow in this video with a pretty good, if not a bit uninspired home kit for the Norway national team. I do understand that it can be hard to experiment at times with national team kits, given national pride and all that, but I don't think the Sushi even bothered to even push out the boat enough to just even stretch the rope on this one. The jersey takes inspiration from Norwegian craft according to Nike, and that is most evident on the sleeves, where the nation's iconic knitwear pattern is displayed. This kit though is an unmitigated letdown from what Nike produced last time out in Norway, as their home kit prior to this was simply immaculate and instantly popular and iconic, and I don't think anyone would have begrudged Nike if they had decided to carry over that number instead of making this, but it'll have its favorites I'm sure, but I'm not going to be one of them. 3 out of 10. Puma returned to the fray with yet another wonderful effort, but this time for Iceland, and this is a jersey that is emblematic of all that is good in the world when it comes to national representation. Inspired by the native glaciers of the country, Iceland's jersey design is as wavy as it is cool, and everything about it is just well put together. Even the color separation at the back of the jersey just adds even more style despite the bareness. Well done, Puma. I don't have any more words to describe just how good this jersey is. 9 out of 10. Group A finishes strongly with a subtle but distinct effort from Nike that gives its Finnish side a timeless sleeper hit. Designed in collaboration with Klaus Hapanimi, which I hope I pronounced correctly, the Finland home jersey is a tribute to Finland's culture and heritage, with the central blue stripe running down the shirt being decorated with traditional and distinctive Finnish drawings by Hapanimi that depict an owl, which symbolizes wisdom and intelligence in Finnish tradition, as I am so reliably informed by Dr. Google. This is a much improved effort from Nike following on from Norway. 9 out of 10. Group B begins with Spain, and full disclosure for all of Adidas' home kits, the 3 stripes have carried over the designs from last year when they released these jerseys around the time of the men's Euros, so you'll have seen them before already if you follow international football. This kit, for example, was worn by the women at the Olympics, and as we will see from the rest of Adidas' home jersey efforts, all of these kits for the most part go hard on national colors and symbols, but the boldness is turned up to 10 in many cases, such as this jersey that is inspired by Spain's national flower, the carnation. On first viewing, you don't really see it given that it's mainly La Roja's main colors of red and yellow that are emblazoned across the jersey. But on closer inspection, and somewhat at an angle, you do begin to see the carnation vibes, as there's almost like a sand adjacent pattern that resembles the carnation that's brought to life using a less saturated shade of red that really makes it pop when viewing it closely. This is a great application of a national symbol on a home jersey in my opinion, and is honestly a quietly good shirt that deserves a lot more acclaim than it initially did upon release, and has thus far. Plus, the carnation at the back of the shirt is a really nice touch. Good start from Adidas, 8 out of 10. Next, we have Portugal, and this kit by Puma is as amazing as it is a bit confusing, and I'll tell you why. Puma, as we all know based on the picture here, especially if you also don't follow football kit news, are the new kit suppliers for the Portuguese national team after the latter's conclusion of a 28-year relationship with Nike, and having such a change come about is weird to the mind because you're just so used to what has always been there. So it is definitely something weird and out of the twilight zone, but we will get used to it in time. At least I'm sure we will. As for the home kit though, historically speaking, not a lot of innovation design-wise has gone into the Portugal home jerseys in years past, but Puma's debut effort is somewhat of a key exception. The jersey design is inspired by the Quinhas, which again, I hope I pronounced correctly, which is the white shield on the Portuguese coat of arms, which is represented in full view with the dots you see at the front of the jersey. The undersleeve is given a dash of green because honestly, is it a Portugal home jersey or kit without green? And the black and white collars and cuffs are a nice touch that give a bit of a classy feel to the kit. Puma so far is on a hot streak with their home jerseys, and this one in particular gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Belgium are the penultimate team of Group B, and their home jersey is a thing of immaculate beauty. This jersey honestly has no flaws, and to look for one would be like looking for drinking water inside an active volcano. It's just not gonna happen for you, bro. Adidas claimed that this kit was designed to stand out, and it really does that impressively well with its design, taking inspiration from the nation's indigenous architecture, with a crown on top of some of the geometric shapes that just add more detail to this already marvelous shirt. I'm still as blown away now as I was when I first laid eyes on this kit, and to have it in my collection would be a dream come true. 10 out of 10 Adidas. Italy round out Group B with the kit that you'll either like or not, in all fairness. The home jersey is the resplendent blue that is commonly associated with the Azzurra, and the color usage around the entire kit overall fits well, but the pinstripes on the front and back, in my opinion, take too much attention away from the overall fit, which is not too helpful for the cause. Plus, I don't really think Adidas made good enough use of their jersey template, as the white tusks, as I call them, that are on the front of the jersey could have taken up a tricolor color like the shoulder stripes to just give a little more oomph to the national colors, but it's a decent effort nevertheless. 6 out of 10. Germany began Group C with an impressive follow-up to their massively popular black bar home kit from 22-23 with this masterpiece. Arguably the main standout from Adidas' home kits upon their release, the Mannschafts' national symbolism is in full force, but rather than take inspiration from the country's iconography or nature, save for the colors of the national flag of course, Adidas have channeled the German Federation itself as inspiration, as you will find that the kit is embossed with the DFB logo all across it from front to back, which at one point can be argued to be a level of self-aggrandizement by the Federation, but I think it's a bit more emblematic of what it means to play for the country, given Germany's rich footballing history. The significance is not lost on me personally, and I think the jersey definitely lives up to the hype. 8.5 out of 10. The next home jersey from Nike is a highly controversial one, but not for whatever reason you may think. First and foremost, the Poland women's home jersey is a clean and somewhat fairly classic effort by Nike, but again, just like Norway, not too much was done in terms of innovation, because in terms of a new and bold design, there was nothing from the swoosh. And in all fairness, they haven't really done much in terms of any boldness or creativity in the past when it comes to the Polish national team across the board, which isn't an inherently bad thing. But none of the controversy stems from the design itself, but more so the decision by the kit supplier to carry over the 2024 kits, both home and away, for the women's team. And considering that all the other Nike women's teams got new kits, you can understand where the umbrage stems from, especially when you factor in the fact that this is going to be Poland's debut at the Women's Euros. So it's a momentous occasion, and you want as many things as possible to be available at your disposal if you're the Polish national women's team to mark this momentous occasion. Poland and West Ham shotstopper Kinga Szemik even came out criticizing Nike over this, and whilst as of this video going live, there are 4 weeks left to the Euros, so far there's been nothing to suggest that Nike are going to produce a new set of kits for Poland, but if anything changes, I'll definitely let you guys know. But as for the jersey, despite the controversy, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Nothing too appealing to my eye personally, but nothing to offend my taste either. Hummel step up to the plate for the first and last time in this video with their effort for the Denmark women's team. Continuing their personal endeavor to make football more fashion-centric, the new home jersey for the women's leans heavily into the latter, with the jersey being a glorified school uniform that definitely belongs more on the runway than a football pitch. This jersey screams hipster's choice, and I would not be surprised to see a lot of people rocking this piece as the centerpiece of an outfit with buckle loafers, shin-high socks, a pencil skirt, and a long-sleeve shirt underneath the jersey. Something along those lines. It's too far of a step away from what it's supposed to be in the first place, which is a football jersey, and honestly, not my favorite jersey by a long stretch. Hopefully, the women's team like this one though, but for me, it's a 2 out of 10. Adidas take a note out of their own playbook with their final home jersey of Group C for Sweden, which is inspired by nature, in particular, midsummer. No, not the movie, but the celebration of the start of summer every June 24th. The badge itself takes up the place of the summer sun, and its quote-unquote rays reverberate across the front of the shirt, which again is quite subtle, but nevertheless a nice homage in addition to the color usage of the TO template, helping to resemble the Sweden badge itself, which somehow is quite neat in my view. 7 out of 10. The final group, Group D, starts off with what the Denmark home kit tried to be as a football fashion crossover jersey, and Nike pulled this off exceptionally well with the France home kit. From the faux Peter Pan collar to the tweed pattern design covering the entire shirt, Nike really knocked it out of the park with this number, and there can honestly be no complaints on how they balanced out the multifaceted aesthetics of the fashion and footballing world. Va va voom indeed, 8 out of 10. The three lionesses make their bow in this video, and honestly, this shirt is a massive letdown from Nike in my opinion. And it's not because the design is bad or anything, but simply because it's just a recycled design. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from an old design or looking into the past to innovate on something, but this is just a lazy way of doing it that by Nike and their standards, they've simply taken the 1982 men's kit design and given it a simple spray paint type of gradient application to it that honestly leaves a lot to be desired. And I think what adds insult to injury is that the 82 kit design was last used on the men's warm-up top from the 2018 World Cup, so the optics about using that design and going from a warm-up top to a main kit aren't so good, at least to me. It just doesn't seem very respectful in a sense. But hypotheses and crackpot theories, I guess, aside, I'm not a fan of Nike's effort here. 4 out of 10. Adidas' final effort for the Euro home kits is a simple and to the point Wales home jersey inspired by the Welsh dragon that's prevalent on all things Welsh, from the country's flag to the Wales FA crest. Now, there's not much going on for this shirt save for the tricolor design on the tufts that I mentioned earlier for the Italy jersey, and that's pretty much it. Not much else that stands out in the way of the design of this jersey, apart from the daffodil at the back, I guess. There's not even an embossed design of any kind, so it's just meh, you know. I mean, they could have done dragon scales since they were already going for a dragon theme, but I guess it's a missed opportunity, but regardless of that, it's okay. 5 out of 10 for me. Group D's overall mediocre turnout of home kits is thankfully redeemed some ways with a modern classic of a jersey from Nike for the Netherlands women's team. Now, Netherlands and orange are a timeless relationship, and Nike did everything in their power to improve upon it, and they really did a damn good job of doing so. What looks like a basic polka dot design upon closer inspection is actually an inspired and clever design that resembles bubble art that the longer you look at it, the more you appreciate it, and I love it so much. It's just a good kit overall, and I'm sure this is going to be one that flies off the shelves in the build up to the Euros and even after them. It is a very nice jersey and a very nice way to round out the group, especially after what we had to bear witness to with Wales and its uninspiring design and the mediocrity of the England jersey. And for this shirt in particular from the Netherlands, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. And with all that being said and done and rated, that is going to be it for today's video. What are your thoughts on the home shirts released for the teams performing in the Euros, and which home jersey stands out the most for you? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.